Nearly half of every Nissan engine ever analyzed carries an avoid rating. One of them has appeared on a best engines list 6 separate times and runs past 250,000 miles on basic maintenance. Everything depends on which one is under the bonnet. The last engine on this list is the only answer. Number 15. The number that should decide how you shop. Independent reliability analysis rated 112 distinct Nissan engines across 25 models, using complaint data rather than opinion. The split is genuinely alarming. 30 engines were rated recommended, 31 landed in a caution middle ground, and 51 of them, nearly half of every Nissan engine ever analyzed, were rated avoid. It is not spread evenly either, which is the part that matters when you are standing on a forecourt. Some nameplates are almost entirely mined. The Altima's 11 engine variants across 4 generations split into 1 recommended, 4 caution, and 6 avoid. The Maxima's 12 variants split into 4 recommended, 1 caution, and 7 avoid. Read those 2 lines again. On a Maxima, you have a better than even chance of picking an engine somebody has flagged purely by walking up to the cheapest one on the lot. And that split is the reason this video exists. A brand with a consistent record needs a general recommendation. A brand where half the engines are flagged needs a list because the difference between the best and the worst is not a matter of degree. It is the difference between 250,000 miles and a replacement engine. Which is why the badge on the boot tells you almost nothing here. The code stamped into the block tells you everything. First, an engine that drinks a liter every 500 miles. Number 14, the 1.2 Dig T, built before 2016. This one is a genuine manufacturing defect story, and it is worth telling properly because the failure is so specific. The HRA2DDT, the 1.2 Dig T found in the Qashqai, the Juke, and the Pulsar, was assembled with undersized pistons. Combine that with flawed engine control module logic, and you get piston ring flutter. The consequence is not subtle. Some owners reported catastrophic oil consumption of 1 liter of oil per 500 miles. Not per 1,000, per 500. Nissan did respond with an engine control module remap and revised piston rings. But the pre-2016 production units remain flagged as a serious risk because the fix arrived after the cars did. And understand what ring flutter actually is, because the name sounds harmless. The piston rings are supposed to sit tight against the cylinder wall and scrape oil back down. When the piston is undersized, they lose that contact and start moving in their grooves, so oil passes straight up into the combustion chamber and burns. So if you are looking at a Qashqai, a Juke, or a Pulsar with this engine, the build year is not a detail. It is the entire question. Then a timing chain that stretches at 50,000 kilometers. Number 13, the 1.6 Dig T in the Juke. The MR16 DDT carries an outright avoid rating in independent European reliability data, and it earns it 3 separate ways. The first is the timing chain, which is documented as stretching from as early as 50,000 kilometers. That is not high mileage on any measure. That is a chain giving up while the car still looks new. The second is oil starvation, which kills the turbocharger. On a small forced induction engine, the turbo bearing depends entirely on a healthy oil supply, and when that supply falters, the turbo is the first thing to go. The third is the strange one. This engine is documented as sensitive to spark plug quality, to the point where cheap replacements cause ignition coil failure. So a routine service done badly turns into an electrical repair. Notice how those 3 connect. A stretched chain changes valve timing, poor oil supply damages the turbo, and a misfiring coil dumps unburned fuel into an exhaust that already has a struggling turbocharger in it. They do not queue up politely. They arrive together. 3 separate failure paths on 1 small engine in 1 popular car. 1 engine earned a nickname involving catalytic converters. Number 12. The early QR25DE before 2007. This engine picked up a nickname that tells you everything. The engine that eats catalytic converters. Here is how it earns that. The early QR25DE in the Altima and the Sentra carries a documented oil consumption manufacturing defect. The engine burns oil it should not be burning, and that burning oil has to go somewhere. It goes out through the exhaust, straight into the catalytic converter, and it fouls it prematurely. So you end up paying twice for one defect. Once for the oil consumption itself, and again for a catalytic converter that failed years earlier than it should have because of what was being pushed through it. There is a wider lesson in this one. Oil consumption is almost never just oil consumption. Whatever the engine is burning ends up somewhere downstream, and the component that catches it is usually more expensive than the one that caused the problem. The later revisions of this engine are a different proposition entirely. The pre-2007 units are the ones carrying the flag. Now, the one that made a fleet abandon Nissan entirely. Number 11. The variable compression turbo and the bearings. This is the headline warning, and the evidence behind it is not forum chatter. It is regulators and fleet data. The engines are the KR15DDT, a 1.5-liter 3-cylinder in the Rogue, and the KR20DDET, a 2.0-liter 4-cylinder in the Infiniti QX50 and QX55, plus the Ultima SR. Both are variable compression turbo units, and both carry main bearing and L-link component failures. Serious enough that the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration opened an investigation in 2023, and serious enough to produce a major recall covering 450,000 vehicles in June 2025. But the number that makes it real is not a recall figure. One commercial fleet operator reported that no KR15 DDT engine in their fleet made it past 80,000 miles without engine failure. Not most of them, none of them. Their fleet management provider abandoned Nissan entirely and moved to Subaru. And a fleet is the cleanest data you will ever get on an engine. Same maintenance schedule, same intervals, same fuel, dozens of identical vehicles running side by side. There is no arguing that somebody thrashed it or skipped a service, because the whole point of a fleet is that nobody does. A fleet manager does not switch brands on a feeling. They switch when the spreadsheet stops working. If you found this already video helpful, you'll definitely enjoy my ebook. You can get it through the link in the description or by scanning the QR code on the screen. The limited time offer ends soon, so don't miss out. And don't forget to subscribe. Number 10. The second recall on the same engine. The bearing problem is not the only open file on the variable compression turbo, and the second one is a different failure entirely. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration issued a separate safety recall covering 318,781 Rogue vehicles fitted with the 1.5-liter unit. The defect this time is in the electronic throttle chamber gearing. What happens is that the gears can fracture, and when the throttle gearing fractures, you get sudden power loss. Think about where that lands you. Not a warning light and a trip to a workshop, but a car that stops delivering power while you are using it. Nissan states that manufacturing process changes have improved later production units, and the engine can reportedly still reach 200,000 miles if the bearing issue never manifests and maintenance is strict. Two conditions, neither of which you control when you buy used. Not every warning here is a straight refusal. Number 9. The GTR engine and what it actually costs. The VR38 DETT is the twin-turbocharged V6 in the GTR, and it does not belong on an avoid list. It belongs in a category of its own. Mechanically, it is genuinely tough, and it is hand-built in Yokohama by a small group of engine builders. Nothing about the engineering is in question. What is in question is the running cost, because this is supercar maintenance attached to a car people sometimes buy as a used bargain. Turbo oil seals and servicing the GR6 transmission alone drive annual costs above 2,500 euros. That is before anything goes wrong, and before tires, brakes, or fuel. There is a useful way to hold the difference. Reliable means the engine will not leave you stranded. Affordable means owning it will not quietly reshape your monthly budget. The GTR engine delivers the first one comfortably and makes no promises at all about the second. So this is reliable rather than affordable, and those two words get confused constantly. If somebody tells you the GTR engine is bulletproof, they are right. They are just not answering the question you asked. Some engines punish neglect rather than punishing everyone. Number 8. The HR16DE and what it demands from you. The 1.6-liter HR16DE, found in the Juke and the Micra K13, is described in the reliability data with a word that is doing a lot of work. Adequate. Not excellent, not flawed, adequate. And that is an honest assessment of an engine whose outcome depends almost entirely on how it was treated. At higher mileage, it develops timing chain stretch and rising oil consumption. Both are gradual, both are documented, and both are manageable if somebody was paying attention. Where it turns is on neglect. Neglected examples develop rod knock, which is the point where you stop discussing maintenance and start discussing whether the engine is worth rebuilding, which changes what you are actually inspecting. On an engine with a design fault, the build date decides the outcome, and the previous owner is almost irrelevant. On this one, it is the reverse. Two identical cars from the same year can be in completely different condition depending on who had them. So this one rewards disciplined ownership and punishes the opposite, which means the service history matters more than the mileage on the clock. Short trips destroy the next one specifically. Number 7. The 1.6 DCI diesel and the driving that kills it. The R9M is the 1.6-liter diesel in the Qashqai and the X-Trail, and it is more powerful than the K9K it sits alongside. It is also considerably less forgiving. 3 documented weak points: turbocharger actuator failures, exhaust gas recirculation clogging, and diesel particulate filter problems. That last one is tied directly to a driving pattern rather than to mileage. Short trips are what cause it, because a filter needs sustained heat to regenerate, and a 2-mile commute never provides it. Which makes this engine a question about your life rather than about the car. The same engine, in the same condition, is a reasonable buy for somebody doing motorway miles and a slow problem for somebody doing school runs. Be honest about which of those you are before you buy a diesel of any kind. Before the good news, 5 checks worth doing. Number 6. What to check before you hand over money. Everything above this point is only useful if you can tell which engine you are actually looking at, and that is harder than it sounds. So confirm the exact engine code using the vehicle identification number or the underhood label. Not the model year, not the trim name, because multiple engine variants often shared the same nameplate across production years. Then, review the service history specifically for oil changes every 5,000 to 7,500 miles. Turbocharged and variable compression engines are punished hardest by stretched intervals and cheap oil. Listen for a timing chain rattle on cold start, which is the documented early warning across several of the engines already covered. Check for open recalls and completed technical service bulletin work tied to that specific engine code, which matters most on the Rogue and Altima SR given the active 2025 recall. And where possible, request a compression or leak down test, and look at the oil cap and the dipstick for sludge or a milky residue. Those two are the final red flags before you sign anything. Millions of these are running, on one condition. Number 5. The K9K diesel and its one requirement. The K9K is the 1.5-liter diesel used across the Qashqai, the Juke, and the X-Trail. It is not a Nissan design at all. It comes from Renault, and it is proven reliable across millions of units, which is the kind of sample size that settles arguments. When an engine has been built in those numbers and the failure pattern stays quiet, that is real evidence. But the proof comes with a condition attached, and it is the same one that caught the diesel a few chapters ago. It has to be driven regularly on motorways. Diesel particulate filter clogging is a genuine risk on cars used mostly for short trips, and no amount of engineering solves a filter that never gets hot enough to clear itself. So this is an excellent engine for the right owner and a slow disappointment for the wrong one. The engine is not the variable. You are. A small engine nobody talks about is near bulletproof. Number 4. The Micra engines, from 2005 onward. Nobody makes videos about the CR12DE and the CR14DE, which is exactly why they are worth 2 minutes here. These are the small petrol engines in the Micra K12, and the description in the reliability data is blunt. Simple, chain-driven, and near bulletproof from 2005 production onward. Read what is doing the work in that sentence. Simple. There is no turbocharger to starve, no variable compression mechanism with bearings to fail, no high-pressure fuel system to go wrong. Fewer parts, fewer failure paths. There is one date to respect. The early 2003 and 2004 units had timing chain stretch issues, which is the same problem that turns up across half this list. From 2005 onward, that is behind it. So if you want the cheapest, genuinely dependable thing wearing this badge, it is not a Qashqai. It is a small hatchback nobody bothered to write about. Mercedes-Benz helped build the next one. Number 3. The 1.3 Dig-T, co-developed with Mercedes-Benz. The HR13 DDT is the engine that replaced the 1.2 Dig-T from number 14, and the difference between them is the story of this chapter. It was co-developed with Mercedes-Benz, and it appears in the newer Qashqai and Juke generations. The reliability data rates it as a stronger, better-sorted engine than the one it replaced, which is worth sitting with because it means Nissan did not simply carry on. They identified an engine with undersized pistons and ring flutter, and the answer was a clean sheet unit developed with somebody else. There is one watch item, and it is the familiar one for any direct injection engine. Carbon buildup on the intake valves because fuel is sprayed straight into the cylinder and nothing washes the back of those valves. That is a maintenance job rather than a design flaw. Plan for it, and this is a sound, modern choice. 300,000 kilometers, and still not the winner. Number 2. The VQ37 VHR. This is the newest member of the family the whole video is building toward, and on paper, it should be number 1. The VQ37 VHR is a 3.7-liter naturally aspirated V6, found in the 370Z and the Infiniti G37 and Q60. It is described in the reliability data as a legendary naturally aspirated V6, and it appeared multiple times on the Ward's 10 Best Engines list. The mileage backs the reputation. These routinely reach 300,000 kilometers and beyond. The one age-related concern is oil consumption, which is a trait rather than a fault on this family, and it is entirely manageable if you are the kind of owner who checks a dipstick.
It is also the engine that shows the family is not a historical accident. A reputation built on one good design from 20 years ago is a different thing from a design philosophy that was still producing results a decade later. So the honest advice is to buy the newest version of this engine family your budget reaches. It is only sitting at number 2 because of what the engine below it managed to prove first. Which leaves the engine this video is named after. Number 1. The VQ35DE. This is the answer to the title. If a used Nissan has this engine and a service history to match, the conversation changes completely. Start with the record. The VQ35DE has appeared on the Ward's 10 Best Engines list 6 separate times. Take the broader family, the VQ30DE and the VQ35DE together, and you reach 16 appearances. Almost no engine family in automotive history has that. Now the reason behind it, because the reputation is not marketing. This engine came out of the factory with a forged crankshaft and forged connecting rods. That is a genuinely premium internal specification, and it is rarely found in a mainstream family V6. Add a heavy-duty timing chain design and strong thermal efficiency, and you get a typical lifespan of 250,000 to 300,000 miles. You will find it in the 350Z, the Maxima, the Ultima, the Murano, the Pathfinder, and the Infiniti G35. Independent rankings place it at the very top of Nissan's most reliable engine list. 2 caveats, stated honestly. The early, pre-2005 units are noted for rod-bearing wear, which later revisions resolved. And there is a documented tendency toward oil consumption and oil leaks past 100,000 to 120,000 miles, regardless of production year. So here's what to actually do. Target a post-2008 VQ35DE with the improved bearings. Confirm oil changes every 5,000 to 7,500 miles in the service history. Listen for timing chain rattle on a cold start and treat it as a red flag rather than a quirk. Get those 3 things right, and you are buying the engine that keeps running long after the rest of the car has stopped being interesting.